Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah, we got it. We got it.
New 52 booklet.
Somebody clip this one.
Welcome to Comics League Movie Night. I am Jared, and I am here with Teladia Plays. What is going on, brother?
I'm good. Hey, everyone, and welcome to this week's movie night discussion.
Today, we are discussing one of the most interesting Hulk movies I've ever seen, or like the animated Hulk movies, if you will. Hey, what's up, Talia? So we're going to talk about Planet Hulk, and I actually have the comic this is based on. Hang on. Right here. All right. Planet Hulk, and this is written by Greg Pak, who also would write some issues of New 52 Superman, by the way, Teladia, later on after this. And okay, so what's cool about this, we didn't have time to get Sam on, unfortunately, because Sam Liu did direct this movie, but I think we talked about it later. I remember this movie tried to draw me in with style. Yeah, and the movie is pretty much the comic book. Like, they make some changes, and I'll discuss that later, but a lot of the stuff they do is like, you can see why you would change that. Like, in the movie, Beta Ray Bill is who Hulk fights in the arena, but in the comic, it's Silver Surfer.
What? I've never read the comic, by the way. So...
No, hang on. I'll pull it up. Hang on. So he fights Silver Surfer in the arena, and then Silver Surfer's like using his board as a shield.
That is cool. That is pretty cool.
I'm trying to find it. But yeah, so the movie basically is, all right, so for context, so He Who Must Not Be Named was like one of the big writers at Marvel at this point.
Yeah.
And he was doing the Avengers. One of the things he introduces, actually, you know what?
There we go, guys. Jared has to get the books, guys, to reference so you guys know what exactly for context.
It's called a visual aid. One of the things he creates is what's called the Illuminati, which is essentially Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt. You saw them pretty much in Doctor Strange.
Yes.
And this was a group of people that were like essentially, what's the word? They were essentially the Illuminati, but what they did here, they figured because the Hulk is like a rampaging rage monster, and eventually he's gonna break. He may be under control now, but eventually he'll be a rage monster, and he will like
destroy the planet, so to say.
Yeah. So they launch him into space. Well, what they do is they give him like a trick, essentially. They tell him, hey, Hulk, there's this threat that's attacking our satellites, and only you can smash it. So we're going to send you into space. They send him to space, and the plan was to send him to like a deserted planet where he could smash to his heart's content. He would be free. Problem is, Hulk got pissed off and smashed the controls, and then went through a portal onto the planet of Sakaar.
Yes, which we saw in Ragnarok. If you watch the MCU, Thor Ragnarok.
Ragnarok was a pale imitation of what the storyline actually is. Like a severe pale interpretation.
But mind you, it had some elements in there that reminded me of this film.
It had elements in there. So he crash lands, and the Hulk is immediately like shot with these like obedience discs, and he is enslaved and thrown into a gladiator. So basically, this is pretty much like the movie Gladiator. That's pretty much what this
Wait.
is.
We gotta address this.
Yeah.
At the beginning, Hulk is not able to talk, but
No, he
when
can talk.
No, he was in rage. Like he was in rage mode, and then
Just
but
because he's
then-
enraged doesn't mean he can't talk.
no, but when they put the disc into him, then you saw stuff in his like some sort of like thing and going in his eyes, and I thought that was in the animated movie. I thought that maybe included him to start speaking.
No, he could always talk.
Oh, okay.
He could always talk. I see what you're saying, but he could always talk. But and I believe this movie is actually in continuity, if I remember correctly, with the Earth's Mightiest Hero show, which is like, oh god, then that's gonna really piss off the Hulk. But so the Hulk is brought to an arena and he has to like fight the gladiators. Now he meets this group that basically become like his team, is Warbound. They will be very important in the sequel story called World War Hulk, but for the moment, they're basically Hulk's team. Now, Teladia, since you picked this movie, why don't you describe to me why you picked it?
Okay, so the reason why I picked it is because we never covered this film, firstly. Secondly, considering like Hulk isn't we've never like covered a Hulk film like this before. I felt like since Gladiator came out like a month or two ago, I thought, why don't we just talk about a Gladiator film that is a Marvel or DC character? And I saw a Marvel character that did it, which was Planet Hulk. I was like, why don't we go for that then? And
I've always said, you know, it'd be a great Wonder Woman story. In fact, I'm just going to tell you this. Britt and I may be working on something that involves gladiators.
Guys, you're in for a treat. That's what I'm going to say, because I don't want to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But so the thing about this, the reason why I really like this movie is because one of my favorite movies growing up was Gladiator. Yeah, my mom showed me a lot of mature-ish movies for my age at the time. I mean, that's when she showed me 300. So you could thank her for my love for Zack Snyder, and there's my obligatory Zack Snyder reference in my stream. Somehow I got Zack Snyder. Imagine Zack Snyder making a Planet Hulk movie.
Actually, can you imagine
with 300 in the slow motion? Yes.
No. Imagine him making a Marvel film, and I would love for him to work on the aftermath of Secret Wars. That would be cool.
That could work. There's any number of ways that could work. So, and we could talk about that as a matter of fact after we talk about the movie, because that's a good discussion. So we'll do that. But what's cool? So the things I really like about this movie is that a lot of Hulk stories. Tevia. Yes. Tevia. How many times have I said this? So essentially, so the thing I like about this, because here's the thing about the Hulk. His stories have kind of been like cookie cutter, if you will. And it's the idea is like, okay, Hulk shows up, he smashes people, or like someone angers Hulk, he smashes people. That's it. That's the way the story is. But this was a new thing because it's like, no, Hulk has to like, first off, they kind of weaken Hulk a little bit. And then it turns out, what I like about the movie, and this is straight from the comic book, is the radiation that Hulk like exudes ends up healing the planet, and he's known as the Green Scar because there was a prophecy about a green scar that would come down.
So it's like basically like their version of Jesus, basically.
Kind of, yeah. Green rage-filled Jesus. That kind of works. Oh my god. And people said Zack Snyder made Superman Jesus. Oh god. But so let me ask you this, Teladia. Who's your favorite like Warbound guy? Because I kind of like. By the way, isn't it kind of funny how like these characters were nothing like the characters in Thor Ragnarok? Like Meek.
Yeah. Like I have to say, Meek is my favorite.
I like Meek. He's cool.
like Meek. He's a cool character. I felt like Meek was like, "Oh, I don't fight. I don't like to fight." But in actual fact, towards the end, he does end up fighting. But
So he plays a very important role in the comic. So the movie doesn't end when the comic ends. The comic goes on for a little bit more. Oh boy.
What
All
do
right,
they have? What haven't they done in the movie that they did in the comic?
All right. So remember the ship that Hulk took to that brought Hulk to Sakaar?
Yeah.
So in the comic, when Hulk takes over, he builds his society around the spaceship. The engine explodes and kills everyone except for Hulk and the Warbound. Now, in World War Hulk, you find so the Hulk thinks it was like a failsafe established by the Illuminati so he couldn't like rebuild the ship and escape. It turns out Meek blew up the ship because he wanted Hulk to be rageful because that's when Hulk was strongest.
Wow.
Yep.
What a D move to do. So I'm trying to keep it PG for you. So that's such a D move to do. And honestly, it's unbelievable. Why would Meek do that? I thought Meek would be friends with the Hulk.
No, he was. The thing is like because Hulk had started to like mellow out. And actually in the comic, they didn't really deal a lot with Bruce Banner in the movie, but with the way, because the way this was in the comic, Hulk and Banner had basically come to an understanding. Banner didn't want to live anymore, so he basically told the Hulk, "You drive, I'm done." So that's what. So he just told the Hulk, "Do whatever you want. You can have control." That's why he's mostly Hulk in this story,
right?
And so Hulk had started to mellow out after like the whole story ends. So Meek was like, no, he was strongest when he was angry. So he had to do something to make the Hulk angry.
But it's kind of like a weird move for him to do that. You would never expect Meek to do it, like, because he's the character that you'd least expect because he's a funny guy, if anything.
No, well, he's not the funny guy in the comic, I don't think. No, he's got a little more humor. So it's kind of cool. And so that leads into a storyline called World War Hulk, where Hulk and his warbound invade Earth, capture the Illuminati, and make them fight in an arena.
No.
And first off, Hulk basically goes, okay, Hulk invades. And you know the whole Man of Steel Zod moment where he goes, "You are not alone" on the TVs and everything like that?
Yeah.
So Hulk does that. But he says, okay, I'm going to give you a day to evacuate New York City. Then I'm going to level the city to the ground because I have to smash something.
Right. Yeah. It's obvious. Yeah. Of course.
And then and then there's one thing. Black Bolt blasts him with like his voice. And then the Hulk goes, "I didn't come to hear you whisper. I came to hear you scream." And I'm like, yes, I love this story. And
so I can ask you a question. Why didn't they make an animated movie on that part of the film?
That is a good question, Teladia. That is a really good question because that's a great story, Planet Hulk. One that I'm still trying to find in trade somehow, but
I mean,
really good.
They did Planet Hulk. You would have thought, okay, they would do War World Hulk after, right?
If I talk to Sam, I can talk about that.
Yeah, that'd be a really good question to ask Sam.
But I mean, if they did, that would be freaking dope, particularly if it's in continuity. So because there's any number of things that they could do with that. But so the other thing I really like about this movie, it does have blood in it, so it is a little bit mature. So I'm like that. That's what I like when it because I talked about this with Sam when we were talking about like because he directed essentially one of the Hulk versus shorts, And we were talking about the Hulk versus Wolverine one. Wolverine stabs the Hulk, and there's blood that splatters across the screen, and we're like, "Oh my god!"
That was crazy to see, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. In an animated movie marketed to kids, that was the weird thing.
yeah, but it's Marvel. It's Marvel. So
Yeah, but here's the thing: if they give him green blood, it doesn't count. That's why if you notice, like in Halo, they can basically kind of say gray because they can kind of say blood and gore because he's got like cartoon blood, or like the elites have like purple blood.
But I gotta say this, Jared. Right? I think what's also interesting about this film is the animation style they went in. It's
Mhm.
not the same. It's not. I thought it's the same continuity as the Ultimates universe.
No, it's not.
That's my take from it,
I
though.
don't think it is.
Because
Debbie says, but by Mace, because this movie didn't do well in sales, that's why they didn't do the sequel. That's in all likelihood, that's why they did it. That's most likely why they did it.
but as a standalone film, it's still a great film.
It's really great. I love this. This is one of my favorite Marvel animated movies. That's the thing. That's what I say all the time. It's not like Marvel doesn't have good animated movies.
Yeah, I just wish Marvel did more animation films like this to get people grasping and climbing to say, look, we want to make more animated films like Planet Hulk to get people interested in the comic side of it. Right? That can help Marvel's brand, so to say.
Yeah, exactly. And it can help like expand them and stuff. It's cool. But Tevia says, I really love this Planet Hulk movie. I'm really glad. It's freaking fantastic. Yeah, exactly. But Cameron says, God, imagine if Marvel went back into animation and just did all their big stories like DC once did. Yeah, exactly. Because again, that's my point here. It's not like Marvel doesn't have good things to base the source material off of. They definitely do. They arguably have some of the most iconic stories ever, but they don't do it.
No, I
But
think
anyway,
this is a joke. So,
Marvel Baby? What is that?
that's a joke from that Marvel vs. Capcom. It's called Marvel Baby.
Oh, okay.
But
Isn't like in that game, Jeff the Shark is like the most ridiculously overpowered character?
Yeah, he is. He's the most ridiculous overpowered.
Oh, God.
But fun fact for you, Planet Hulk skin is actually in the game. There's a Gladiator version of Hulk.
There's it's kind of funny. Teladia, so I was playing Avengers for the gaming stream, and I forgot what skin I equipped for Hulk. So the first time you see Hulk, he's in the Gladiator skin.
So
I'm like, where did that come from? And I'm like, oh, okay, I forgot to do that. That was great. I love that. But yeah, it's a pretty dope outfit, and it is really cool. This is what I wish, like, both companies really would do, is they would essentially, like, take their characters and do, like, new-ish stories with them, but do it in a way that seems fresh but true to the character. Because that's what they did with this. That's what they did with, like, even the Iron Man movie. There's any number of ways that you could adapt all these fantastic characters and movies and do it in a way that's faithful.
It's still interesting. It's still got my interest. It's still got people talking. That's the main thing about about this film. It's got people talking. That was the main conversation because for a 2010 film, it still lives up to the. It's still up, like nothing can. I'd say what's the wording, Jared? It's still up there, if you know what I mean.
It lives up to the hype?
Yeah, it still lives up to the hype. That's the word.
Tevio says, question, did we get Sakaar in Planet Hulk? No, that was in World War Hulk.
No, we didn't get it in Planet Hulk.
Sakaar is the son of Hulk. So Hulk had a wife, and she was also dead in the explosion. But because Hulk was like strong, I guess he passed on his invulnerability to his kid.
Wait. I gotta ask this question then. In the animated movie, the chick who was the servant for originally.
That's his wife.
Yeah, I know that's his wife. But isn't she invulnerable to infection and stuff?
Not a nuke.
But she survived the fire.
A fire's not a nuke.
That's very weird. That's the best
It's
way
a
to-
little inconsistent. I do agree, but who knows with comics? But yeah, so I rate this movie a solid. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Really fun movie. It's a great Hulk story. It's a great comic storyline, which maybe I'll cover on the channel eventually, but we'll see. But let's do yeah, go ahead.
For me, I have to give this a 9.5.
All right, there you go.
10. Because not only the story is well done, but the animation is well done, and the fact that you got Sam Liu directing this, that's a bonus. And to say also that to add better credit, they actually got the Joker from Batman, the Batman 2004 TV show. The person who plays the Joker, he's Korg in this film, I believe. Or one of the yeah, he's in this film.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Michael Richardson or something like that.
Oh yeah, exactly. So now let's go to a little Q&A. You guys ask us any questions you would like about Planet Hulk, Marvel, what Marvel storylines you guys want to cover, what movies you guys would like us to cover in 2025. We'll take some considerations. So yeah, so I did a thing today.
All right.
So as you guys know, I don't like the Tom King Wonder Woman run. And luckily, here's the advantage thing that we talked about in CLD last night. It's exactly. So it's the idea that you know how like I said he's on issue 16, and then his storyline ends in Sovereign of 19. If we play this right, I'm not because okay. So I put out a tweet, and here's the tweet. I'm gonna actually read you guys the tweet that I did. Excuse me. I said, "Hey everyone, I wanted to give you guys a voice. If you don't like what Tom King is doing to Wonder Woman and her world, and do not like the character Trinity, if that describes your feelings, then tweet King of Wonder Woman, the hashtag King of Wonder Woman, and hashtag Retcon Trinity to make your voices heard. This is meant to give you to give those who would rather a writer who understands Diana write her comics. Yeah, exactly. We can do this, everyone." So I tweeted that out, and it blew up.
It blew up so
the
much.
Wonder Woman fandom rallied with me to the point where the Wonder Woman Brazil fan account put out this tweet.
Share your screen. You need to share this.
They put out this tweet. I'm going to read it, as a matter of fact. It said, okay. Wonder Woman fans have started spreading a hashtag asking that Tom King stop writing this book and that Lizzie Prince undergo a reboot. Hey, what's up, Jack? So that's the thing. There are even accounts that I have clashed with on Twitter that are using the hashtag King off Wonder Woman. And
wow.
And we're like, because if we play this right, we can get King off before he even starts a new story. In other words, the Sovereign will be the only story on Wonder Woman he does. To that end, I'm going to be retweeting that every single day until he's off the book.
I got a question for you, Jared.
Yes.
Has Tom King blocked you on Twitter yet?
Nope. I haven't. I don't tag him on Twitter.
Now, even though you haven't tagged him, but you would have thought he probably would have seen the hashtag by now.
Not necessarily, because I don't think he pays attention to it. His editor may be paying attention at one point. I want to stress this. Do not tag his editor. But his editors would probably see this. If it gets big enough, DC and his editor will have to address it.
Yeah, and Jack is asking, is his Wonder Woman run that bad? I haven't read it yet.
Yes, it is abysmal. Wonder Woman is a side character in her own book. I would prefer give the book to someone that will actually give Wonder Woman her own story instead of constantly wanting to bring in Batman, Detective Chimp into the book. That's what he does, Teladia. He brings in minor characters that do the work of fighting the Sovereign while Wonder Woman's on her ass all day carrying her daughter to Mount Olympus.
Do you mean sitting on her hands?
That too. But I need to say this.
Go ahead.
I am blown away at how this tweet exploded. About how this hashtag actually worked. Worked. But what I mean is that people rallied around this tweet. It is humbling, and it is unbelievable, really.
So I was gonna mention this as well. I like this version of Jared. Whenever he gets rallied up like this, rounded up, raring to go, just because of the movement like this. This is a version we need for every stream.
By the way, you know who inspired this? You know who inspired this tweet? Our good
Snyder
friend
Queen?
Sammy the Snyder Queen.
Yeah.
Because I figured, okay, so here's what I was thinking. So DC fans do these hashtag campaigns all the time. And DC Comics is more likely to listen to Twitter if Twitter revolts. And I know that the King run is universally reviled among Wonder Woman fans. So if I give people a rallying point, it's possible that they would take it. I didn't expect it to go this, because I only tweeted it this morning. I typed it up last night, cleared it in with Brit to say, hey, is this phrase well? And then she was like, yeah, just post in the morning. I woke up today, posted it. The whole day it's been going. The whole day. My current analytics on my tweet is 65 likes, 48 retweets, 6.9 thousand views.
That's pretty impressive.
I know. And 4 saves. People have saved this tweet. I just wow. Because I'm a relatively small fry in this pond. Yes, I co-host I think the only Super Wonder themed podcast, but I'm still a small fry in this. And to see everyone just see the really big accounts start commenting on it, that means something. Because eventually I could start the Drop Kings Wonder Woman hashtag, meaning drop it from your pull list. QT, also, that's what I thought Trinity was gonna be, instead of centering her around a dude. Because, by the way, so King was very open. He didn't want to write Wonder Woman. DC pitched it to him, and then he seemed to really want to write Steve Trevor. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, dude. But you know what? If you're gonna write Wonder Woman, you have to write Wonder Woman. That's it.
Steve Trevor, Steve Never.
Yes, exactly. Steve Never. Yes, thank you. Even on Instagram, the thing is going nuts. But the wrong thing. But yeah. so yeah, I had the internet. Internet did a thing.
I gotta say this, right? It's like you're saying it's called a small fish in a big pond. It's a small fish making big waves.
Yeah,
in the ocean.
Tevia says, why didn't Tom King just say no? Ego. Because he said he wanted to do he's wanted to have a long run on Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. He had one on Batman. He's definitely not going to get one on Wonder Woman. I can guarantee you that.
On Superman?
He wrote an isolated Superman story, but I think he always wanted to say, for his ego's sake, that he did all 3 of the Trinity. But doesn't look like that's going to happen. Doesn't
So
look like that's gonna happen.
we did got other questions. So
Yeah, go ahead.
So we got other questions. So we'll start off on the top. Kevin says, "Question: Speaking of Planet Hulk, I'm just wondering what's your favorite part of the animated movie and what comic and the comic." That's a good question. Wait, you're muted, by the way.
I like the part when Hulk is in the arena and he fights Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, I think for the movie side of it, Beta Ray Bill versus Hulk. That's
Mhm.
my favorite part of the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one of the coolest parts of the movie, and I really appreciate that part.
Yeah. So we also have QT Comics saying, "What happened to Warbound after War World Hulk?"
They helped Hulk invade Planet Hulk, and I think they disbanded after Hulk lost.
Okay. But yeah, disbanded as in went separate ways. And
Yes, exactly.
but is it an Elseworld story? That's a question for you.
No, this was in continuity.
This was in continuity.
Like this happened in Marvel Comics. This legit happened.
How did he get back to it? Well, obviously we know he got back to Earth, but
He rebuilt a spaceship.
now obviously I know he got back to Earth, but how did he get back onto the Avengers?
Eventually, it's one of those things where like a threat emerged that they needed him for.
Oh my god! So
That's what normally happens because you know how in comics everything goes back to normal.
that sucks. Anyway, any more comments, guys? Any more questions? Feel free to ask us.
Whatever comments you guys would like to ask us are valid. Let's do this.
Because myself and Jared literally, well, Jared is going to be doing something special later on today. Shall we promote that?
Yeah, and at 9 p.m. I'm going to be going on the Lethal Geeks podcast to talk Snyderverse stuff. I love World War Hulk. It's amazing. Yeah, it is. It was really good.
So you'll be talking to Lethal Geeks podcast.
Yep, and we're going to talk about the Superman trailer, Snyderverse. They'll probably have me recount my YouTube journey and stuff. It'll be really fun.
I noticed this thumbnail, by the way.
You better believe I'm going to bring up the hashtag there.
By the way, I noticed. I know that. I obviously that's gonna happen. I noticed the thumbnail that it had the Superman cape or whatever, Superman your logo on the back, and I was just like thinking, wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you see that for the thumbnail?
Yeah, I did. They made a great thumbnail.
So, QT Comics says still don't like her, but adopted is better than what it is now.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's in keeping with Diana's story. She would do that, and Laura Kent meets Trinity, or just retcon Trinity out and just make her like nothing. That's what you got to. That's what you could do.
Or there is one way you can do it. Do a separate universe type of thing, right?
But how would you establish her in this separate? How would you make this a separate universe?
No, I mean like not universe. Sorry, another Earth.
Yeah, but how would you make the Wonder Woman story that's very firmly in continuity an Elseworld story, and all of a sudden?
I'm just trying to think.
You could just make it so it's all in Diana's head or something like that. That's it.
Yeah, that
could be something.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. Work. Well, question. Speaking of Planet Hulk, I'm wondering if this hypothetical scenario, if you're in charge of making a life, just the way the animated movie do it. I don't know what you want me to say. When you, that's the way I would do it.
Yeah, I would do it 1-to-1 to the comic. I would not fiddle around with changing things. I mean, I would not do what the MCU did with Ragnarok. That's something I would not do, right? Because that, by God, that film though, that's so good. I'm sorry, it's not the brilliant MCU film, but I gotta ask you this question, Jared. Right, between Planet Hulk, World Hulk, and the third one, right? Which
Third
is your?
one.
No, sorry, the first two, right? Planet Hulk and World Hulk. Which one is your favorite?
Story World War Hulk.
Yeah, World Hulk. Okay.
Because it involves pretty much every Marvel superhero ever.
How many issues did you have? World Hulk
Well,
and Planet
this
Hulk.
is how long Planet Hulk is.
Planet Hulk
It's
is that big.
it's issues 902. I mean, it's issue 92 to 105.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of pages
Mm-hmm.
for that size issue. And
Yep. And this volume even includes a guidebook into what Sakaar is like. So there's like a lot of stuff in this.
that's amazing.
Well,
So we got
yeah, go ahead.
a couple of other questions, by the way. Okay, so Tevye says, okay, new question. If you're able to make a sequel to Planet Hulk and adapt into how would you adapt? Tevye, we
Just do the comic. I don't know how many times I could. So I'm gonna answer all these questions. My answer to the question of how would you adapt this comic into live action will always be just do the comic. That's it. And any permutation of that question. What do you think of the Civil War what if story? Oh, you mean the Battle Worlds one where it's basically what if the Civil War like went on?
Oh, yeah.
Where they combine Secret Invasion as well and also do it well.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
What about that? You know that What If episode where Tony Stark is on Sakaar? How would you do? Like, how would you feel if they made a comic?
They made a
out
hot
of it?
toy for that.
They made wait. They made a hot toy.
Of this Tony Stark's Sakaar suit.
Wow. I never seen it before. I've never seen that hot toy.
Yeah,
Must be.
QT says, I don't even want her on a separate Earth. Yeah, I want her dead.
But I just feel that Sakaar what if storyline with Tony Stark. Can you imagine a video game out of it?
That I can. That I can. House of M, what if? I didn't read the House of M what if, so I'm not going to weigh in on that.
Neither did I.
Mm-hmm.
We're DC guys, just to let you know. So
well, I like Marvel too. Obviously, it's just I don't necessarily cover Marvel that well. Like go really in depth into Marvel.
Yeah, and plus the reason why we picked a Marvel movie is because we haven't done a Marvel movie in a long time.
But QT brings up a good point.
Yeah.
Justice League War World should have just been Planet Hulk. Yep.
I agree with that statement.
I'm cool with that. That would have been dope. But they made it a weird multiverse story that only made sense after you saw Crisis Parts 2 and 3.
But still, it was a fun film, and all in all, though, I would recommend people watching it. Though, if you haven't watched it, watch Planet Hulk.
It's very enjoyable.
You will get stuff out. You will get not stuff, but you will get enjoyment out of it, and you might actually like the animation.
So. It's very well animated, so I appreciate that.
So if there's any more comments, put them in there. But if not, we'll wrap up. And
yeah, I think so. And that should be a good time to wrap up, so I can go have some tea. I'm getting better. Don't worry. Question: any other Marvel comic storylines that you would adapt for an animated movie with other characters like Spider-Man, the X-Men? Any X-Men story would work. And for Spider-Man,
the storyline where Peter and Doc Ock brain swap.
That would be good for like an arc in a Spider-Man animated series, I think. But I would say that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of X-Men, Probably like Phoenix Saga if they did. Well, actually, all the X-Men stories I would do, Tevia, have already been adapted, so I'm not going to really weigh in on that much because all of them have been adapted exactly as I would do them. So that's where I'm going to leave that. But anyway, so yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it. So Teladia, where can one find you and what have you got coming on your channel?
Okay, you can check me out on YouTube at Teladia Plays. What I got coming up on my channel is I'll be doing a podcast recording this Sunday with Jared as we're going to be talking about DC stuff. And also on Monday, I'll be doing a live stream for Marvel Rivals. And then Wednesday as well, I'll be doing on my Twitch page, I'll be doing some Sparking Zero and some Hogwarts Legacy as well because it's Christmas. Why not? So that's what I got coming up on my channel. And thank you again to Jared for allowing me to pick this week's movie night.
Anytime. I'll announce what the movie is going to be in next week as soon as like I confer with, I think it's Jay Heat is picking. But so as for me, obviously again at 9 p.m. I'm going to be a guest on the Lethal Geeks podcast. I've retweeted the link. I'll retweet again. And so tomorrow on Monday, Super Wonder Legacy episode is coming out where Britt and I refute a lot of the arguments concerning Superman and Wonder Woman need to be grounded, and we'll also talk about the hashtag and everything. And in terms of there's gonna be no Wednesday video on account that it's Christmas, so I'm not gonna like interfere with that. Have fun, spend time with your families, and UTC on Thursday. We'll figure that out. So anyway, and QT, I know the story of the nail. I've never read it. I want to, but anyway. And by the way, so again, the rules for the hashtag. You can tag DC, don't tag Tom King or his editor. And what you do, the hashtags are hashtag one word. It's hashtag, I'll put it in here. Hang on. And there you go. Those are the two hashtags that we're using every day until he's removed from the book and Trinity is struck from canon. But anyway, that's where we're going to leave it. Lois Lane is Lois Lame. She belongs to General Zod. Steve Trevor, Steve Never. Zoe is the Max About for life. I will see you later. Bye-bye.